Hey, what's going on? This is Antoinette here at Beautiful Start Podcast YouTube channel. And yes, I'm live every Wednesday at 11 p.m. I am live. So tonight's topic is keep it 100% with yourself, right? A lot of times, people like to lie to themselves about where they at in their life and what they really need to do, right? They be straight up lying. And I'm telling you, right? You need to keep it 100% with yourself, right? Where you at, and if where you at is not where you want to be, right? You got to keep it 100% with yourself as to where you want to be in life, right? Because life is all about getting better, right? Becoming better, right? Moving yourself to the next phase. As I would like to say, is that, life is like a book, right? We always are, we're going to go to the next chapter, right? Like when you think about like seasons in life, right? Summertime, the clothes you wear in summertime, right? It's not the clothes that you're going to wear in fall. It's not the clothes that you're going to wear in the wintertime, right? So when you think about different chapters in your life, right? When you go to a different chapter, if you went on chapter 9, it's not going to be like chapter 8. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like life is all about progression, right? And you have to keep it 100% with yourself, where you at, right? And what you need to do to get to where you need to be, right? I'm not in the business of lying to myself or being in denial, right? A lot of people out there, they are in denial about certain things. Some people are in denial about the relationships that they're in, right? Sometimes the relationships could be so effed up. The relationship could be like this situation that you need to get rid of to move yourself to the next phase of life, right? But if you're not keeping it 100% with yourself, then you're gonna stay in a situation that is not for you. So I tell yourself, I would tell you, right, wherever you are at in life, you know what I'm saying, keep it 100% with yourself. Where you at, where you want to be, what you need to do to get to where you want to be at, right? Because sometimes you keep it 100% with yourself, and then, you have to be like, oh, okay, this is not where I want to be at, right? So then you're going to have to follow a steps to get to where you need to be at. Set like little goals and shit, like set a long-term goal, and then to achieve that long term goals, of course, you're going to have like little short goals and following that to get where you want to be at, right? Because life is really, that's what life is about, right? I don't care. Like, life is really about going on to the next phase. But in order for you to go on to the next phase of life, you got to keep it 100% with yourself. Now, I'm about to drink something. I hope you guys are, coming in. I'm live right now. I would like to say, like, this is like the first night that I would say, like, yo, everything is working fine, because normally there's always some technical difficulties. There's always some BS that's going on. But right now I'm live. If you guys are in the chat, and let me know what's up, how you doing out there, where you from, It's always good to move on. A lot of times people are in situations that they don't no longer need to be in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's time to really put yourself first and move on. Some relationships people are in, need to let go. Some people are in relationships that they should have been let go of, that they no longer should have been in, that they no longer should be in, right? But they still in. And it's like, yo, in order for you to become better, it has to be some type of awareness there as to where you at and what you're actually, doing with your time. And you have to be honest and be like, oh, I don't want to be in this situation no more. You say to yourself, well, I don't want to be in this situation no more, right? And on your part, you gotta actually do something to get yourself out of that situation. A lot of times people think that talking about a situation, which is really complaining or just bringing somebody aware of that situation, is the formula for getting shit done. If nothing is moving in your life, if nothing is changing in your life, then basically what you're doing is you just complaining. You know what I'm saying? You're not really making no efforts to change anything. But I say this to you that, if you are in a situation that you no longer want to be in, right? You have the power to change it. You have the ultimate power to change where you are at in your life. You know what I'm saying? You no longer want to be in that situation, and you have to actually put in the work and actually leave, right? Or create a plan, right? Because the reality is things don't all right, you can make plans, right? You can make plans. But if you don't follow it, then that means that plan really, then you really ain't do shit. You know what I'm saying? You really ain't execute the plan that you put into place. But ultimately, that's the beginning. You create a plan for yourself, and you follow through with that plan, and you get yourself in a position where you're working towards whatever it is that you need to work towards in life. You know what I'm saying? Because in order for you to change anything, you have to become aware that that there's a problem. You have to become aware that you no longer want to be in whatever situation that you want to be in, right? Because nothing's going to change if you don't have some type of awareness to it. You know, I'm not in a business. I was just drinking something. I'm not in a business of lying to myself. Some people lie about where they're at in life and how they feel. Some people are miserable, sad and depressed, and they're not really being honest about their emotions and how they're feeling and shit like that. They're just going through life feeling all these things and not really understanding why they're feeling this way, or connecting to certain things that are going on in their life to what they're feeling and shit, right? And so they just think that this is just a normal way for them to feel. But if you could get in tune with whatever it is that you're feeling, and then have a clear understanding as to why you feel that way. Because sometimes you could be stuck in a relationship that you no longer want to be in, and that's the root cause of why the fuck you feel the way you feel. It could be something else. But you have to come to that conclusion. You have to, make that connection. You know what I'm saying? Or it could just be how you personally feel about yourself, and it don't have to be linked to nothing else. It could be something from your past that you didn't even let go of, but you have to make that connection, because at the end of the day, I feel like we are responsible for, our happiness, right? Like, I got some ice water. I love ice water. Like, if you hear this, let me put that out there. I'm 100% live right now. I know you guys, y'all may not see me or whatever the case may be, but I'm live. And, but we are ultimately responsible for our happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times people think that, other people are, and that's why people do certain things, because they feel like, oh yeah, this person is gonna come in my life and they're gonna make me feel better and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's really like, up to you. Like, your happiness, it all, like, it boils down to you. You know what I'm saying? People can add to your happiness, you know, but ultimately, if you miserable and someone comes in your life and you think that this person is gonna make you feel better, or be in a different position in life, right? Then you're wrong. Because at the end of the day, right, if you miserable when somebody come into your life, then they're not gonna make you also happy if you're not in a space to be happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, you're responsible for your own happiness. And I have to put that out there, because a lot of times people think that, everyone else is responsible for their happiness and how they feel and all this stuff. Like, you know, if you miserable, you know what I'm saying? And, it don't matter what anybody do, you know, they could go up and beyond for you. But if you in a miserable state, then that's where you want to be at. You want to be miserable. You know what I'm saying? Like, happiness, misery, sadness, and all that stuff. That shit is not like outside of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of when you think about happiness, like, a lot of times people think that everything happiness. I'm over here dropping shit. Everybody think like, oh, in terms of happiness, that that type of thing, it comes from um, outside of us, but ultimately, that's something that's within us. Like, if you're happy, you're gonna be happy. If you're sad, you're gonna be sad, but ultimately that falls on us. You could be in a relationship and your partner could be going, up and beyond for you, or you could have a great support system in terms of family that's there for you, friends, you know. But deep down inside, if you really feel miserable and you have a dissatisfaction with life and where you're at, then that's what you're going to feel, right? It's up to you to ultimately change how you feel in life, but you got to keep it 100% with yourself about, your feelings, and your emotions, in order to, like, really tackle it. I swear that shit was so good. But, like, tackling that emotion in your life, like, as far as being happy, or, if you really want to be happy, and you are always miserable, sad, down, then you're going to have to really tackle what the hell is making you sad. Why are you feeling like this? You know what I'm saying? You gotta get to the root of all those emotions and shit. Let me pour some of my water. I don't know why the hell I will not drink this water. Like, listen, if you guys, I'm gonna start going live, like where you guys can see me and shit or whatever. But I got me some Poland Spring water that's in a bottle. That's mad cold already. It's really cold. And then I have a cup of ice. Well, the ice done melt. Okay. I got like 3 little pieces of ice. And I have poured the bottle of water into the ice. Because I don't know. I like ice water. How many people out there, love ice? Who like ice water? Let me know in the chat or whatever. So good. Especially on a nice summer night. Yo, I'm from the East Coast. I'm in New York City right now, for those or whatever who are like, oh yeah, where's she from? I get a lot of that. A lot of times, I receive emails at beautifulstarforyou@gmail.com, and some of the emails are not really. Sometimes people just be fishing for information. They want to know, you know what I'm saying, like all this information and shit, right? But yes, I'm on the East Coast, and this summer has been a complete trash. Like it seemed more like spring to me. It's been raining so much. Like hurricane season done moved all the way fucking up. You know what I'm saying? It's been a rainy ass season. And I'm like, wow, I never known summer to be so gloomy, and it practically rained every day. Like, I want to know, you guys, who else out there is from New York, or let me know where you at and where the weather is, right? So I'm like, damn, this season, summer is not the summer that I used to know. Like summertime, I ain't been going front. Like we had some nice weather or whatever, but recently this weather has been it's just been raining, gloomy. Like I understand, like, the trees need rain, the grass and stuff like that. I get it. I get it. But I'm ready for some sunshine weather. That's what I'm ready for. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready for that, because I definitely want to go to the beach. You can't go. I mean, people, go to the beach in the rain and shit, but I don't really feel like walking through the sand with a damn umbrella on unless I'm blocking the sun or something like that. But for rain, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely not. But yeah, that's the weather over here. Like, yeah, this is not like your traditional summer or whatever. It's been a lot of rain. Yeah, but getting back to the topic, right? You wanna keep it up 100% with yourself. Like, be completely honest. Be completely transparent with yourself. People be lying to themselves about everything that's going on in their lives. You know what I'm saying? They be lying to themselves about how they really fucking genuinely feel. And it's like genuinely get to the root of the reason why you feel the way you feel. And if you are in a state where you feeling like crap and you not feeling happy, and you in a place where you no longer want to be, then it's really up to you to change it, right? Because at the end of the day, I could do all this talking and stuff, right? But if you are not ready to put in the work, then ultimately it don't freaking matter what I say. You know what I'm saying? I remember, when I made the ultimate decision that, I was going to put myself first, and that I was going to work on myself no matter what, and that was like the best decision that I made in my life, you know, because I actually instantly started seeing things change in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like when you make a decision to be happy, when you make a decision to set goals and follow through with it, right? The quality of your life changes, right? And just overall everything change, right? Even down to how people treat you. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have a lack of respect for yourself, when you really don't, love yourself, right? People could pick up on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And they will feed off of it and treat you accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you are good to yourself, when you love yourself, when you respect yourself, you know what I'm saying? People have no choice but to do that shit. And if they don't do that shit, you remove yourself from that situation. You ultimately, make that choice. Like, yo, I'm not dealing with this crap. I'm not allowing anybody to treat me like shit. I don't mean to curse, but I mean I've been cursing since I got on this. You feel me? I ain't fake. Like this is like I keep it 100% with myself, and I'm gonna keep it 100% with you guys. Like I'm not one of these coaches that get on here and be all fake. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be real and be honest. You know what I'm saying about how I communicate. And yes, this is how I communicate. Yeah, sometimes I cuss. Yeah, it's that simple. You know what I'm saying? I know people expect coaches or podcast hosts to be on a different type of vibe or a different type of energy, or speak in a certain type of way. But I just feel like people who really understand what I'm saying will get it and will respect it. That's how I feel. But you gotta keep it a buck with yourself. Because things is not gonna change unless you change. Okay? People, can't change for you. You have to make that initiative to be like, yo, I'm in this position. I no longer want to be in it. And then you gotta push yourself. And then keep yourself on that path to where you want to be, right? Because, I'm not like going to say like change is easy. Making the choice to change is ultimately easy. Like you could sit down and be like, oh, and come up with different ideas. Like, oh, I don't, as to where you want to be at and stuff like that. Or, because I sit down. I'm the type of person, I'm going to sit down. Like when I be doing coaching sessions and shit like that, I always tell my client, like, sit down and brainstorm. Like, yo, write out what's going on in your life. Like that's another way of like saying journaling, right? But I just feel like when you could sit down and really write out where you are at in your life, then you could kind of like sit down and like see the whole scope, see out the full picture of shit, right? Because when you think about, like, I'm gonna give an example. Like if you have someone that they want to lose weight and shit, right? And they working with like a personal trainer or whatever the case may be, right? They, sitting down, coming up with a routine that will work best. Like if you have someone who work, 5 days out of the week and they trying to figure out how they want to incorporate this new schedule in terms of exercising, doing weigh-ins, meal prepping, everything that goes along with it. Even sitting down and even like when you think of weigh-ins, right? You have to figure out where you at, right? You get on the scale and you be like, okay, well, I'm gonna just throw a number out there. Let's say if you 280 pounds. You 280 pounds, right? And you write it out, right? You did your scale, you got on the scale, and you realize that you 280 pounds. And then you come up with a weight goal, right? You put that weight goal, well, let's say if you want to get down to like 220, that's your goal, right? But you had to sit down to figure out, right? Well, weigh in to figure out, okay, where you were at, and then you come up with the idea of, where you want to be at, right? And with our lives, we sit down and we see where we at, right? And then you come up with this this idea of where you want to be at. You feel me? Like you ultimately, just like the person who was weighing 180 and they say, oh, well, I want to be 120 or 130 or whatever weight I said or whatever, right? Let's throw 220. Let's throw 220 out there, right? Then you got to come up with a plan of how you want to get to 220. How is it going to look for you to get to 220, right? And when you're thinking about your life, wherever it is you want to be at, like if you planning on like leaving a relationship, like let's say that's your goal, to leave a relationship, or let's say your goal is to go back to school, or let's say your goal is to start to improve on, your how you look, right? Because how you look is how you dress. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say if you've been dressing like a straight up bum, like going out, like you have so much things going on that you're not even worried about how you look, and you say to yourself, well, I want to start, taking care of myself in terms of like I want to start dressing up nice. How does that look for you? Right? Like you got to sit down and kind of like brainstorm. And a lot of people may think like, oh, this is fictitious. This is like this. You shouldn't do this shit. You know what I'm saying? Then click the fuck off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you? You know what I'm saying? This is your world, baby girl. I'm just in it. You know what I'm saying? But I just say to you, right, in terms of, in order to get different results in your life or whatever, you gotta be D to do different shit. That's the overall point. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be willing to try different things and do different things, right? This shit has to be like some type of proactive thing on your part, on your end. Because I just feel like we are not meant to stay in a particular stage in our life forever. You feel me? Like sometimes we just have to move on. And sometimes moving on is, number one, is like, in order for you to move on, at some level you have to be 100, keep it 100% with yourself. Because a lot of people walking around in denial about their lives and what's really going on because they fucking stuck in the past. They stuck in a realm that no longer fucking exists. But it seems like it does exist because it's within the realm of your fucking mind. And it's like, nah, boo-boo. Let's keep it 100% and move on. Straight up and down. Straight up and down. Because I feel like every year we are supposed to be getting better. Every year, every day. I feel like every day we supposed to be getting better, right? But where I was last year is not where I'm at this year. You know what I'm saying? This year I'm on a whole different level. I'm on a whole level. I'm on a whole new level. However that song go. I ain't I ain't a singer or whatever, but you know, you move on. Shit. Change is challenging. You know what I'm saying? But it's doable. It can be done. You feel me? It definitely can be done. And I want all you guys out there, I want, like next year, I want you guys to come with like some great inspirational stories as to, say that, you wanted to be where you are at in life now. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be some type of awareness that is put there. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep it 100% with yourself. Like, just like on my channel, I used to do a lot of videos pertaining to, being in an abusive relationship, domestic violence victims and shit like that. But a lot of times people who are in abusive relationships are not really aware that they're in an abusive relationship, right? They think that shit is just a way of life. But then they had to come to terms like, damn, I'm a DV victim. Like I'm a, you know what I'm saying? I'm a domestic violence, victim. Like that shit had to come to them for them to actually, go out there and, get the help that is needed or help themselves. But that awareness has to come in there. Like you have to be like, damn, well, I'm in a fucked up ass position and I no longer want to be in this position. You have to come to terms with that. And then you gotta, safety plan and, get yourself out of that situation. But that awareness have to be there on your end. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone around you could be like, yo, you in the past. Like they could bring it to your awareness. But if you don't believe that shit, then it's not a reality for you, even though you are in that reality. You know what I'm saying? You have to come to those terms and you have to make that decision to get out of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you have to ultimately make that decision and be like, yo, I don't want to be in this situation no more. Like, you have to push yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's resources, there's people out there, there's, organizations that are willing to help. But until you make that realization, until you make that connection, then you won't even believe that you are in that kind of situation. You're not keeping it 100% with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Until you keep it 100% with yourself and be like, damn, I'm in this situation. I no longer want to be in this situation. But it has to be some level of awareness on your end. You feel me? But yeah, we have to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? With ourselves. Let me drink some. It's so good. I swear to God, water tastes so good. Oh my God. But yeah, I made the decision a long time ago that like, yo, no matter what's going on, I'm going to keep it 100% with my emotions, with my feelings, where I'm at in life, where I want to be at. And there's no more capping. Like, it's no more lying. There's no more, no more wishful thinking in terms of any situation. Yep. So, but yeah, I encourage you guys out there to keep it 100% with yourself and definitely get to where you want to be at in life. And sometimes, we need assistance from other people. You feel me? Like sometimes you need to have a coaching session. Sometimes you need to, work with other people to, to get it right. But ultimately, you could do it on your own, as well. But it's ultimately up to you to make that decision or whatever. But I'm not gonna hold you guys too long. I could talk for hours. But I definitely I made my point or whatever. Yeah, I got it out there, you know what I'm saying? But I thank you guys for definitely listening. Every Wednesday at 11 p.m. I will be live on this YouTube channel, and definitely listen to motivational. It comes on every Monday, and I thank you guys. I'm appreciative of you guys, and definitely put yourself in a position where you are becoming better. Love yourself, definitely put yourself first, make yourself a priority, and definitely do things like, your self-care is important. Take time out to care for you, because if you don't care for yourself, right, how could you, care for anybody else? How could you really pour into other people's lives, right? Without your energy being or, drained or whatever. But definitely have a great day or night, depending on when you listen to. If you listen to this on the replay, have a great day or night. But for you guys, if you on the East Coast, have a great night. If you somewhere else in the world and it's a daytime, enjoy your day. But definitely keep it 100% with yourself.